Today we're discussing transforming the B2B buying experience with our facilitator, Kevin Asher. With over 20 years of sales and marketing experience, he helps companies and their employees become more awesome. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you, Gene. Great to be here.
So let's talk about theme number 12 in our series. This has been quite a series, right?
This has been really fun. Lots of great topics. And then this theme, I think, was a real meaty topic that we got a wide range of opinions. Because when you ask salespeople and their managers about their attitudes towards CRM, that is a loaded conversation. So we're fearless here at Current in the Transforming the B2B Buying Experience panel. So we just charge forth right into it.
So what kind of, let's talk about the panel that had this conversation, because this is an important conversation to have. Who sat on the panel?
So literally a global panel. We have a bunch of current and former sales executives. And the former sales executives, we do have a bunch of folks like myself that are now in a consulting role. So a blend of personal experience as well as direct client experience. And while on this panel, we often have input from buyers and sellers, this one happened to be a bit more of a seller-focused topic, although we did get some comments from buyers of how they see CRM affecting their buying experience.
So let's get into the executive summary. These are the 4 things we're going to get into today, and I'm very curious about this because I love CRM, but I've also seen it used poorly, and I've seen salespeople really push back on this idea of having CRM. So tell us what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, so absolutely, those concerns and objections are very real. So we want to talk about, well, what's in it for the salespeople? We're obviously expecting something from them. What do they get in return? What does the company get in return? Why go through all this in the first place? And then we'll, as I mentioned, just tackle head on what are the challenges and what are the obstacles that are getting this to not just widespread usage that I put down, but for the gold standard, just absolute delight, getting to the point where users and managers couldn't imagine a world without their CRM, which will also be covered in our category of how to improve CRM.
So let's get into key point number 1, which you really should share with your sales team, which is what are the benefits for the salespeople?
That's right. Well, ultimately, to get anybody to do anything, you've got to make it easy and help them do what they already want to do. Very simple concepts, but a lot harder to actually put in theory. So Famita hits it on the head. Salespeople, they want to sell. They want to sell a lot. Well, if at the very least CRM can help them organize all the different things that they have going on so they don't drop any balls and they move as many deals as possible through to closure, that's a benefit. Again, I say a little tongue-in-cheek, and while that sounds obvious, lots of CRMs can be very built or configured very complexly. So even just deriving this very simple benefit of where are my deals and which one should I work on next is not always as straightforward as it should be, which then leads to the next point from Steve. It's basically, if I get into the habit of I'm using it every day, it's going to help me march down the field. I'm a football fan, so just continue to march down the field and get into the red zone and eventually put points on the board. So if we make it easy, we make it seamless, we help reps stay focused on the deals that are moving forward and how to identify what's moving forward quickly and what needs help, then it helps salespeople close more deals, beat their quota, and ultimately helps them feel and outright be successful.
So that's what's great for the salesperson. So you would think that's also what's great for the company, but there are some differences, right? So go into key point number 2, the benefits for the company.
That's right. Because to be fair to the salesperson, the objections and resistance they put up, until recently, CRMs, it was really hard to look at them as being built anything other than for managers to monitor and derive some data for managers. And now that balance has changed. So obviously the company's got to still derive benefits, but beyond just, hey, are my salespeople doing their job? We'd like to be in enlightened work cultures where it's not such a micromanaging command and control. So what does the company get out of it? Well, ultimately, revenue forecast, budget forecast. So it's not always good to be completely under forecasting and overproducing results. While that's better than the alternative, company can't forward invest, acquire new resources, hire faster if we have an inaccurate forecast, either high or low. So just getting a very predictable revenue picture is very important to the company. What's also important to the company is to be able to spot macro trends and patterns. Who's buying what from us and why? Where are we getting bogged down? Do we have a problem with our process? All these things, when those are the responsibility of management to identify and eliminate those obstacles for the salespeople. So all those things come from quality usage of the CRM. And then the last point that David brings up is fantastic, which gets lost often these days because a lot of companies still generally think I can manage my pipeline through a spreadsheet. Well, what we've covered in previous topics is that selling is much more of a team sport than ever before. There are bigger buying committees and there are bigger selling teams as well. Executives, subject matter experts, the account executive, client success, all these different roles are involved on the selling side. And so CRM is really the only way to keep what is often a globally distributed sales and buying committee all up to date on what's going on with the deal. So lots of benefits for both the individual and the company. Again, I think all these are easy to understand, but hard to put into practice.
So let's get into the key point number 3. What are the challenges to a more widespread usage or maybe embracing the technology?
Well, the challenges are that ultimately it's still very difficult to get quality information in. And these are basically the thoughts expressed by David in these 2 separate quotes. So it's hard to get data in, and so therefore it's a pain, and then there becomes big resistance. The solution to that, by the way, is that the CRM companies have recognized these challenges, and now it's easier than ever to connect your email accounts, so your calendar activity, your emails, and other types of data sources are getting connected into CRM, so more of the data input is done automatically. We're also seeing some emerging trends such as voice input. Salesforce themselves and some exciting startups, you could, as you're driving away from a meeting, literally dictate your notes, and as AI and voice recognition improves, it is pretty darn good right now, your voice notes will get automatically entered into the right places in CRM. So the historical challenges of, hey, it's just a big effort to keep my CRM up to date, those barriers are being broken down very quickly.
And in key point number 4, I guess you've talked a little bit about that, but what are other ways that we can improve how CRM works and how we interact with it?
Yes. So first of all, I love the point from Steve about getting stakeholders engaged rapidly. So whether you're implementing your first CRM or new product releases, feature upgrades, there's always a chance to engage your stakeholders. Always make sure that the tool is providing more value than it's taking up from data entry. So having people's buy-in and getting as many different perspectives on how to improve is essential. All too often, it's a top-down stick approach. And making it more collaborative has been proven time and time again to increasing usage. And then, kind of elaborate on the points I was making to respond to Sandy's quotes, the way to get information in and collect is getting a lot easier. And through the advances in machine learning and AI, the output coming out of these systems is getting more advanced, such as opportunity and lead scoring, being able to use hard data and analysis to say, this opportunity is twice as likely as that opportunity to close because it matches these metrics or these principles that we see our most successful deals close. It could be such as we've moved quickly through the due diligence phase, we have the right level of executive interaction, we have done an ROI analysis, whatever the case may be of the most successful steps that get completed on path to success, the CRM systems are being able to surface this information much more visually, much more agilely, in a much more agile, customized, on-the-fly manner that makes it more useful for both reps and managers to get the information they need to I'll steal someone's quote, turn the CRM from being a system of record to becoming a system of action. How does all this information help guide me to do the next thing to move this next deal forward? That's ultimately what we're trying to get to.
Well, what a great deal of engagement you got from your panel. This was very impressive. Kevin, let's talk about these top 3 that really contributed.
Yes. So Famita, Sandy, and Steve have been frequent contributors. So grateful to have him on the panel. Sandy has been a sales leader for many years and is now consulting. His semi-retired status just means that he gets to focus on the projects that are of interest to him. And Famita just has great emotional intelligence. And so she's been able to provide a lot of contributions around the mindset change and how do you get people to emotionally buy in and commit to, in this case, CRM. But she's been able to apply those principles to a wide variety of our themes. And then Steve, just as a current VP of sales, just great insight into lessons learned, both hard way and through some luck of the draw from his experience leading sales teams. So thank you to all 3 of them for their frequent and quality contributions.
Well, thanks to you too, Kevin. This has been a really great conversation here in theme number 12. What are we looking forward to in theme number 13?
Oh, one of my favorite ones as a sales coach and sales leader will be, so we had a great meeting, but they're not calling me back. So what happens? And what should I do about it? Stop me if you've ever heard that story before.
Asking for a friend.
That's right.
Kevin Asher, amazing job. Over 20 years of experience as a sales and marketing professional, and he really does help your teams become more awesome. And Kevin, we will talk again.
Thank you very much.